Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to share with you some Battlefield 1 horse gameplay, and I want to talk about the horses, how they play, how they work, and just a whole lot about them. In case you didn't see the giant sponsored by EA in the upper right hand corner of the video, this video is sponsored by EA. They paid for my trip to Gamescom, an appearance fee, and several other things. However, I do have free range on videos and contents and that sort of stuff, but FTC disclosures are important. Before I got to play the game, before I sat down, a lot of the other more hardcore Battlefielders and some of the other YouTubers and some of the devs were talking, they're going to say, horses will be gimmicky, horses are going to be fun to play but not very practical, horses, while fun, will not be your first choice. And after playing I can say, yeah, nah, horses are amazing. They're actually very practical in-game and they're just as fun as promised. So on horseback you get 4 total weapons. You've probably only seen people really using 2. You have your primary rifle, which is bolt action, only 5 rounds in the chamber, I think is how you would say. It's like lever action, and it's a 2-shot kill unless you get a headshot, and has surprisingly good accuracy. The hipfire box is surprisingly tight, the projectile is surprisingly fast, it doesn't wobble too much, though of course it does while you're bobbing on horseback. And the other one you've probably seen the most is the sword. Now the sword is the most popular because it's much easier to use than the rifle, though I think it has less potential, and it's got a pretty massive hitbox, so anything that goes by on your right hand side just gets slaughtered. Overall, you want to try and pop people at a distance with your rifle, especially if you catch a sniper or somebody standing still. However, when it comes time to make a sweeping pass or get close to people, it is definitely sword time. Now the other 2 weapons that you may not have noticed or seen because they're not as practical is of course the horse itself. The horse can just smash people. You don't even have to hit them with the sword or anything, you can just straight up trample them with the horse and it'll pop up on screen that you got a horse kill. And finally, you can toss grenades just any direction you want if you feel like it on your horse. I only did this a little bit. I tried tossing them over my shoulders at other horse riders. I tried throwing some grenades at tanks and stuff. It isn't super accurate because it's kind of like throwing the McDonald's drive-thru trash out the window while you're driving down the highway. You just kind of chunk it and pray. Not many people did that very much, but it can work. And all of these are of course a bit tricky. All of these have high potential but are tricky. The rifle, you have to deal with the bobbing of the horse and the relatively small magazine or amount of bullets you have in the chamber before you have to reload. Sword only works on one side of the horse. It does nothing on the left side, so people are always trying to move to your non-sword side. Trampling is actually pretty easy, but the grenade tosses are a complete crapshoot. Moving on, the horse is almost as good of transportation as a car or a jeep. I would say it's faster than the tanks, of course not as fast as the airplane, and it doesn't go quite as fast as the jeep, but it's pretty similar in speed to the armored car. So if you want to do your one-man solo flank route and you want to go capture a point way out somewhere away from your team and do your lone wolf thing, a horse is probably going to be your best bet because you're not taking away vital resources from your team. Typically, people would get in the armored cars and just speed off out into the middle of the nowhere and just sit in the gunner seat and try and capture a point by themselves, and it didn't work very well and the team lost the vehicle. You can take a horse and you're only taking a one-man horse and there's not a massive loss to your team. The horse is also by far the best flanking vehicle in the game, best flanking animal or whatever you want to call it, just like actual cavalry would be. The concept is pretty straightforward. You have a ton of people flooding out of the enemy spawn, especially after just a little bit in the game. They won't have as many vehicles and they're all kind of running out on foot. If you can come up behind them with the horse, you can easily just kind of hit them in a train like Mario jumping on Goombas and pop, 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 pop with the sword, mop up 1, 2, 3, and 4. I had some amazing sword triple, double, pentakills, whatever, in the warm-up rounds, not in the actual gameplay here, because before people really knew what they were doing, it was really easy to sneak up on them with the horses and just mow them up. Now once they got smarter, it got much harder and I was able to do this with much less consistency and in general, but flanking with these things are nasty. These horsies have significantly more health than you do. If I had to guess, I would guess they have probably about 4 to 5 times player health, and they're susceptible to all the things the player is. Fire is bad for horsies, bullets are bad, getting hit by vehicles or smashed by planes is bad, and they can also be gassed. Now the horse won't die nearly as fast as you will, but it will die and it's not good. And finally, the horses are by far the best vehicle in the sandstorm. When the sandstorm rolls in and your visibility goes down to absolutely 0, horses are going to do the most work because you can sneak up on people and hit them with the sword, whereas most people are crashing the planes and the other vehicles, and it gets significantly less useful. Now, I've sung a lot of praises about these horses. Let's talk about some bad things. When you're on horseback, you are a huge target for everyone. That's really the true weakness of this, is as soon as you get on horseback, you might as well just paint a big red target on your back and have flashing lights over your head saying, please shoot me, because you are, while you're moving, big, bulky, and distinct. You bob up and down, the horse outline is very distinct, the way it moves is very distinct, and it's not that hard to hit. It's a pretty big target, so you can pop it with sniper rifles very, very easily. Medic rifles, I guess those are DMRs or semi-automatics, or just spray it with almost anything. And I cannot tell you how many times I got on horseback and just got immediately sniped, because snipers love watching the horses. The horses are incredibly fun. People like getting on them. People like riding around. So of course the snipers just sit there and watch the horses, and as soon as you get on horseback, bam, headshot, you're dead. Everybody wants your horse, because these are new, because these are fun, and because they're actually kind of useful. They're a hot commodity. There's a maximum of 6 horses on the map at any given time, and that also depends on which conquest points you have captured and whatnot. Realistically, you're not going to see more than 2 or 3 at a time, because they're constantly dying and respawning and getting lost somewhere. And everybody wants your horse. The horses are neutral. You can kill somebody off their horse and then hop on it and ride away. And that's exactly what people want to do. At least YouTubers, those are all the people I was playing with, YouTubers and streamers. They want to kill you and they want to take your ride. So not only are you a big, bulky, distinct target that's easy to hit and easy for snipers, you're a high value target. Everybody wants what you have, so you need to be very, very particular about it. And I think that the horses are going to be much more useful against bad teams or against people that are just getting into the beta versus experienced players and people that have been playing for a bit. At least that was my experience at Gamescom. The first couple of rounds, these horses were amazing. I could just butcher people. Once all the YouTubers and streamers learned and got a little bit smarter, all this horse nonsense got significantly harder to do. But overall, the horse gameplay was fun. It was much better than expected, and I personally had a blast with it. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'm going to go ahead and just play the last little bit of horse gameplay here unedited, just in case you want to watch it. You can have fun. Drifter out.
Yavaş hele. Atla. Hadi gidelim.
We have taken objective George. We have taken objective Duff.
Ablan, ablan. Önünde. Koş. Yavaş.
We have taken objective Freddy.
Hop dedik. Hadi gidelim. Yukarı.
We have lost objective Duff.
Dört dala.
We have taken objective Charlie.
Oh.
have lost objective apples.
Hadi gidelim.
We are losing objective Charlie.